joining the call. We're going to take about a few minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, to allow Mr. Woods to come into the meeting before we really kick things off. If do you want to drive, or do you mind if I? Okay, I'm seeing some familiar names. Abiola, how's it doing, Abiola? I don't know if you guys will be able to speak just yet. But please feel free to use the chat box just for us to hear your thoughts or read your thoughts, I guess. Put your thoughts on the chat box. And for questions, there's a Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. There's a Q&A, so you can just put questions on there. Either me, Teju, or one member of our team will just provide answers while the call is going on. I think we can actually go ahead and kick things off. We've crossed about 60 people attended. So good afternoon, everybody. As a lot of us know already, my name is AK. Here, let me increase my volume. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna take off the headphones. But can you guys hear me? So, please mute yourselves. All right, great. So some of you can hear me. I'm going to try to speak a little louder for those that can't. But if you don't know me already, my name is AK. I'm the founder of Rise, and my team members are here with me. Chubi, Efe. You can probably tell from the Rise banner. This is our first meeting for the year, so it's an exciting one. This is the first time that we're getting back together. We were not able to meet as a group, so our investment community were not able to meet last month because of all the hectic things. So we decided that we're going to start this year off with a bang, and we brought in someone really cool, really exciting and fun to talk about this subject that is on everybody's minds right now, which is how exactly why should I add crypto to my investment portfolio, right? And how does that help? How do I go about it? Why is everybody buzzing about it? What are the potentials? And just, what are some questions that you all have around cryptocurrencies, around Bitcoin, around Ethereum, around USDC, and, trading, whatever that you have. So her name is Teju Adeyinka. She's the growth manager at Buycoins. For those of you who don't know, I happen to have connections to both Buycoins and Rise, but the team at Buycoins have been incredible executing in the crypto space. And so without too much extra interest, I'll let Teju just talk a little bit about what she does, about what Buycoins does, and then about the conversation we're about to have today. So Teju, nice to have you.
Thank you very much, Ike. Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm really excited to be here. My name is Teju Adeyinka, and I work with Buycoins. Buycoins is a cryptocurrency exchange / platform in Lagos, Nigeria. And basically what we do is enable you buy or sell crypto with your bank card, with your bank account, bank transfers, pretty much every option that's available to you as a Nigerian. And like beyond the exchange itself, we're really passionate about making crypto super easy and accessible for everybody to use. And we have two other products, which are, what I work on directly. So there's SendCash, and SendCash is a crypto-based product that enables you send money from anywhere in the world to Nigeria or Ghana. So basically you send Bitcoin or USDC to a wallet address that we provide to you, and your mom or somebody who is in Nigeria or Ghana who has a mobile money account just receives money. And then we also have Get Cards, which just enables you pay for gift cards for stores across the world. So you want to pay for Amazon, for instance, and your cart is worth $1,000. But because of like the bank limits that you have on your card, you can't do that. So what we basically enable you to do is buy a gift card worth $1,000, and you can just spend that on Amazon. So that's basically what we do. At Buycoins, I work on growth for Send Cash and Get Cards particularly.
Awesome. So two things that stood out from your introduction now is one, Buycoins the exchange, which we've all known, and most of us are heavy users. Myself, I found out shockingly enough that my uncle, who is in his 50s, late 50s, uses Buycoins, and he was asking me questions about it. I was like, oh yeah, I heard you guys are doing this thing with crypto, and he knows about Buycoins, he knows about Binance, and so gradually it's getting to the mainstream. But then the more fun thing is that Buycoins as a company wants to build products that everyone can use, that is built on crypto, but not serves other functions, right, besides just crypto. And so that makes it easy for anybody to find value or find use out of the whole crypto ecosystem and use it to solve like problems generally. So for those of you that are here, there's over 100 of us here. You guys have talked about Buycoins till I'm blue in the face. But right now, that means that you want to send money, you want to pay for things abroad. You have options in Get Cards and Buycoins, as well as Send Cash, Get Cards, and Buycoins. So there's no reason for you to be restricted to, I can't use my Zenith card, or I can't and Get Cards and Send Cash. So that just sits on. The other question I need to have, just for jumping into this conversation, is so for our community, for everybody who is on this call, the primary reason we're here is because we're trying to build our investment culture. We're trying to learn about other things that can help our investment portfolio beyond just the things that Rise offers, right? So for a lot of people this year, crypto has been in the conversation. And can you tell us a little bit about what's been happening since, I think it was since the ending of last year, around crypto? What the pricing has looked like, what the demand has been. Why is there so much excitement about crypto at the moment?
Okay. So I guess like to start with, maybe a good way to start is actually like what causes the value of like an asset like crypto, or even any asset at all, to increase, right? So it's usually when there's like a lot of demand relative to supply. And that's like what Bitcoin. So I'm going to be focusing, a little bit on Bitcoin because it's the most popular one, but then I'll touch on the others. But like what causes the price of an asset like that is, increased demand. And that is what like you tend to see around things like that. So at the beginning of last month we crossed $20,000 at some point, which was like previously the all-time high. And that was like, for anybody who is familiar at all with crypto, or who has heard about crypto or heard about someone calling crypto a scam, that was like where crypto reached, that was where Bitcoin reached in 2017 and then dropped. And so for like, a lot of people, there was a lot of excitement, particularly around Bitcoin finally crossing that value again. And then it just, continued to increase over time, went to 25, went to 27, went to 30, even got to 40. It touched 41 at some point this year. And at the moment it's back to around $36,000, $37,000. The price is volatile, so it goes up and down daily. And what is happening is, there's increased demand as there's increased adoption and increased demand. So you have like a lot of institutional investors. So not retail investors like you and I who are like buying 0.001 Bitcoin, but like people who are buying a lot of Bitcoin at once. And because, of course, that's like increased demand, right? There's the price is being pushed up in that sense. You also have like crypto adoption increasing because there's, like increased interest in like some of the use cases. People are beginning to understand some of the use cases of cryptocurrency a little bit more. So like bringing it back to Nigeria, for instance, there was like a lot of buzz around crypto in October, I believe, during the protests when people realized, oh, the government can actually stop me from using my money if they don't want me to, use it for something that they stand against, for instance. And like, so there was a lot of curiosity in the Nigerian, in the community, where people were just saying, oh, so what is this new thing that you can use to pay without government restrictions and things like that? So what I believe is driving all of that is, number one, like increased knowledge about use cases, increased interest from institutions, larger traders, larger buyers. There's a lot of speculative activity. And the way some of these things go is, as the price is increasing, a lot of people are talking about it. So I bought Bitcoin, for instance, at 10K, and somehow it's now 25K. And then I tweet about it. And so other people will see it, and then they feel what we call like the fear of missing out, and they rush to go and buy it as well. In a way, it's like, a cycle that is going on over and over again. So while the price of Bitcoin has, historically been going up, sometimes like some of these pushes come from when there's just an insane increase in demand. Does that answer your question, AK?
Absolutely. So I was trying to, because during when you were speaking, the internet was breaking a bit. So I turned off the video. Can you try and switching your video off? Let's see if that helps with the latency.
Okay.
But yeah,
okay.
that actually answers the question. So yeah. So for us that we're thinking about investing, one of the things that and this is where, from our perspective, portfolio approach to investments is helpful, because you do want exposure to crypto as an asset class. One, because despite the volatility, there's been a consistent upward trend. And as more and more people get comfortable with crypto, as more people understand the potential use cases of crypto, or the crypto ecosystem is also building out new use cases, you realize that the demand for crypto is going to increase. And for Bitcoin specifically, there's a finite supply. So because it's volatile, you don't want to put too much of your money in there, but having some exposure to crypto is going to be helpful. It's also going to be very necessary and that brings me to another part of the equation. So I always tell people, first of all, personally, if I had to ask you why you think crypto is especially relevant for people in Africa or people in Nigeria, what would you say what would be your response to that question on the personal level or at the business level? Why would you think it's so, if I'm Nigerian, why do I especially need crypto?
Okay, this is an amazing question. And it's a lot of things, to be very honest. I always say that people abroad like can afford to theorize around like the relevance of crypto and why it's important, because they have like relatively stable currencies, they have relatively global currencies, and relatively also stable governments. And so they can, some of the things that crypto directly solves for, they already have governments that kind of do that, even though it's not perfect. So I'm going to take it, I guess, like in that order. So the first one is the value of the currency. Like at the end of the day, that is like one of the problems that RISE is trying to solve. We all know like the naira is at this point like inflationary. So the money you're holding 500,000 naira in your account, and by 2 weeks or like just in a month, that amount has like greatly reduced value, and what you can buy with it has like totally gone down. The purchasing power is all the way down. And having a different currency that I can hedge my naira against, which isn't so, I could, for instance, do that with the USD, which is like relatively stable. But then I realized that there's this other currency that is almost it's not even almost, there's this other currency that is deflationary, in the sense that it is actually the value of the currency is actually increasing, right? It's not, I can buy more and more things with it when I hold it. So that's like one thing, hedging against the naira. Something else is borderlessness. So at the moment, you like the example I gave with get cards, where you have money in your account, right? You have 500K in your account, but somehow you just can't spend it because the naira isn't acceptable anywhere else but in Nigeria. You want to send money to like a supplier in China or something, but like you also it's so difficult to do that because you have to go from the naira to maybe the USD before you go to the yen, or it's just really stressful to move the money around. But when you have a currency that's acceptable everywhere, a currency that's borderless, you don't have to go through all of that. And I guess like the implication of stuff like that is also it's less expensive to do all of those kinds of transactions. You don't have issues around transaction limits and things like that. I was just to make a third point. The first thing I said was I think around hedging it. The second is around borderlessness, and yeah, the third is around having money that's truly yours. Money that is censorship resistant, money that the government cannot come and seize, the government cannot tell you what to do with, or how how the money should be used, or how it can be used, or where it can be used. Yeah, so for me personally, those are like my three use cases. And the first one about hedging, it also ties for me to investment using crypto in general, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, as an asset, or as like an asset where I just store money in and I know that the value is to increase over time.
Awesome. You know what? This is I'm blown away by the answer, because a lot of the things that we're talking about now, when we start, so I'll take a walk back. When we're having a conversation around Buycoins, the primary driver was because people that needed to get money to the US for any reason, the choices or the options were so difficult. And at the time, Bitcoin was, I've been investing in Bitcoin since maybe 2013. And so it was already like a thing globally. But in Nigeria, even then, there was local Bitcoins here. But the main thing were like, if we solve this problem and make it easy, that borderlessness was our primary driver at the first gate. We want to be able to access or send money across the world. We want to be able to access investment opportunities around the world. But you are locked into whatever you can get FX for, whatever the capital controls locally is, all those kind of situations. And Bitcoin didn't have that problem. So, but what we've seen is over the years, as Buycoins has successfully solved that problem, it's continuing to solve it, where now you can access globally and then rise. So, for instance, we use USDC funding now, and we connected with Buycoins to do that. So you can send USDC to your Rise wallet from anywhere in the world. But we really solved the problem of borderlessness, and then Rise went on to solve the problem of stable investments that are global, but you can access from basically anywhere. But really, for a Nigerian, you can access it whether through normal fiat gateway or via crypto gateway. And so there's a lot of things that are possible now just because Buycoins and crypto as an ecosystem exists. And the other thing is, and I'm speaking to those of us that are listening in the audience, one of the things that is happening over time is that the world has effectively, thinking back to, let's say, if you think back to when the internet was started, people didn't realize how transformative that technology was at the beginning. Because to them it was just, oh, it's a way you can send a message to anybody you're connected to. You can have an email address so people can just send messages to you back. And you can post information and post it on there for someone to read. And such a simple idea has transformed the world in the last, say, from 1995 to today. And now crypto is something similar, because what it's done is it allows you to hold and transfer value from anywhere you are to anywhere in the world that you want to. And for most people in Africa and in Nigeria, this is something you never had before. So the person in America could have always sent money anywhere they wanted to. It might cost them more, but we now have the technology that is in many ways far superior, and it gives us the level of access that we could only have dreamed of just 10 years ago. So I always tell anybody, if you don't have a Buycoins account, or you don't have some kind of crypto wallet, and you live in Nigeria, you're doing yourself a disfavor. You should get a Buycoins account today. Probably get, even if you don't want to. There's some people who are more, I don't see a use for it. Get it, because as the world changes, you want to stay familiar with what's changing and where people are today. There's a lot of things that is possible now that is not possible, that wasn't possible, say, a few years ago. So that's on use cases. Do you personally invest in crypto, or do you have Bitcoin, or do you hold Bitcoin?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely I do. It's
So what do
every
you
month
do
I try
when?
to buy.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I was saying every month I try to buy a certain amount of crypto, a certain amount of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few other coins.
Okay. So what do you do when the prices fall drastically? Which again, that volatility part cannot be escaped. Anybody that is putting money there will experience that volatility. So how do you deal with the downtrends? What keeps you like focused on the long vision?
Okay, so for me with crypto, I guess like my strategy is more that I'm playing the long game. So I'm not really in it for, by this time or by the end of the year, the value would have increased to this and then I can take out my money. I genuinely believe that the technology is going to change the world, that cryptocurrency is going to change how financial systems run. Just like the same way you said, okay, yeah, I know that this might be rambling and not directly answering your question, but I'm guessing there, I promise. Just like you were talking about how the internet in the 90s, people were taking bets on the internet. They didn't even realize what was going to happen. They didn't realize that, in decades later, people would have Zoom and, it would be such like a good to have taken. That's the same way it is with me and cryptocurrency. So I'm not really thinking, I want to take out my short-term returns, whether it goes up or goes down. I believe that over the long term, the value, it would, essentially become a really good investment for me in the very long term. At the moment, I don't even have a fixed date for when the very long term is. I just know that this is something that's going to change the world. And my buying, it in bits at the moment is sort of taking a bet on that future. Right. So I don't really care very much. I don't look at, the price. I mean, I'm excited when I see, we've got to a new all-time high, or when we've done this. For me, something else I do is even when the value goes down, I try to buy a little bit more. I try to, because that means that I can now, purchase. I see it as an opportunity to buy more crypto instead of, panicking and thinking, maybe I need to sell right now so that I don't lose my money.
Okay. So there's a few audience questions, and please, you guys send in more of your questions in the Q&A at the bottom, so we can get a lot of conversation out of Teju this afternoon. But the first one I want to address is Isaac that asked that is there a need to get Buycoins since Rise will launch crypto? So, and I'll tell you that yes, there is. It depends on you. Here's how. Even for Rise, we are not the only. All your money might not be in Rise because we know exactly what we built Rise for. We built Rise, one, to give everyone access to a high quality decision making around your investment selection. Two, we built Rise to take that, like I say, a portfolio approach where we allocate your capital across several asset classes so that we're both generating upside and also protecting your downside. So we're like your general investment manager, giving you access to dollar returns that are stable and long-term oriented. But that also means that you on your own can still go back and say, okay, well, while my long-term investments are being securely invested by Rise, I also still want to try my hands at this specific investment or this specific asset or this specific cryptocurrency, or speculate on some, let's say, alternative coins. So alternative coins being like other smaller cryptocurrencies that are not as well established and as well used as Bitcoin. But you say, okay, let me play around with these guys because I want to see whether or not this money takes off, right? So that's like what you do on your own, but you still have the portfolio that Rise manages for you, because again, our entire value prop is that there's the money you should take gambles with, and then there's the money that you really want to be well managed and well invested. And so those are two different strategies. For instance, if we do the crypto asset class, we're going to look at one, volume. So we're not going to, there's some altcoins that we're not going to consider because the volume is so small. So we're going to look at volume and how widespread or how popular it is. We're going to look at the price trend over the years, which means if something doesn't have a long price history, it probably wouldn't make it into our portfolio. And then the third thing is that we're going to take a bunch of these currencies that meet our criteria, put them together in an index, and therefore spread all your investments across them. So there will be no one crypto will be responsible for all of the returns, even though I know that Bitcoin and Ethereum will probably have an outsized influence. So for us, we're looking at it as a basket that we're holding for you and allowing it to grow, but you still need your own wallet, one, to trade in specific, make specific trades, but two, because you want to be able to have access. It's like having your own internet, or not internet gateway, more like your IP address, right? So you want to be able to access the internet directly, even if there's a company that kind of provides a whole bunch of like internet-based services for you, but you still want to be able to log in and do something directly. So if you want to receive money, send money, use SendCash, buy a gift card, those are all reasons for you to do crypto on your own besides Rise. So that's the question I have to answer. Now, the other question that I think Teju would help us answer is that why should someone ask that why should the value of crypto necessarily increase over time, right? So if crypto is supposed to be a good alternative to fiat, and fiat loses value due to inflation, what is it about crypto that makes them, more likely to, that makes their value more likely to increase over time? So you can take that question in any direction.
Okay, sure. So with, I guess, like economics in general, or like if you just think about it, whenever the demand for something is greater than the supply of it, the value will also always increase because more people want it and they're willing to pay more and more for it. So if you think about it from that point of view, then we'll now go to fiat currencies, which is like your naira, your dollar, and then we'll now think about crypto. So with fiat currencies, right, there is no cap to the supply of fiat currencies. So I will use the naira for instance. The naira, there's no global demand for the naira. We're the only ones who want the naira really badly, or who need the naira in first place because we can spend it here. But at the same time, there's the supply of the naira. Like there's no shortage of the supply of the naira. If the government needs more naira for some reason, they can just print a lot more of it. So if you go back to the supply and demand analogy, what is happening is the supply is increasing. Like there's a lot of naira, but like the demand for the naira doesn't match up to the supply, so the value goes down. Like because if like there's nobody else globally that's sort of like demanding for the naira. I don't know if that analogy for fiat makes sense to you, because I want to use that for crypto as well. So with crypto, it's different, right? So with Bitcoin particularly, there is a fixed supply of Bitcoin that I'm very sure that if you've heard about crypto to some extent, you hear that people say stuff like there can only be 21 million Bitcoins in existence. That is, that is true. So it's capped. There's a fixed level of supply that we can have. But at the same time, the demand is not capped, right? People can always just keep demanding more and more of it. So the demand is going up, the supply is increasing, but like it's increasing at a very, very small rate. It's sort of like increasing at a decreasing rate. It's just every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that can be, minted or that can be mined is reduced. So it's like demand is going up, but then supply is not catching up. And as a result, the value goes up. I hope that answers your question.
I believe it does. So there's another question. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Awesome. So the other question, someone asked, Michael Ademola says, so that the problem with crypto is the network fees. Michael doesn't like paying fees. And that those fees can get very high, which I believe is valid. So is there a way that Buycoins can help people reduce network fees?
Okay, so at the moment, we have no control over network fees, but there are some ways that people have been able to reduce that burden over time. So one of that is like batch transactions together, and that's something that we're looking at. So like first thing to notice is that we don't have any control at all over the network fees, but we're like constantly looking for new ways to make sure that the fees for each transaction reduce like in any way that we can. But then like, thankfully there's also like some new technology, like for instance, the Lightning Network, that is some experimental crypto technology that's supposed to help with making transactions, not exactly happen. Okay, maybe I should, yeah, but like it's supposed to just help with making the fees for transactions much smaller. But then with Buycoins, we're trying to figure out like the best ways to do this, and as soon as we're able to, we'll let you know.
Awesome, sounds good. And so guys, if you have more questions about what we're talking about, put those questions on here. We're going to read some of them out. We're going to answer some of them via chat. If you don't already know about our community, then we have an investment community on Telegram, and that's is Rise Investment Community. But everyone is welcome to be part of it, whether or not you actually use Rise. And then for people who have asked about the apps that we're talking about, or the apps that they can use to get a crypto wallet, please download Buycoins. It's on the App Store or Play Store. Buycoins, Buycoins. Sign up is the easiest and one of the most reliable ways to buy and sell cryptocurrencies that I know of in Nigeria. I'm not just saying that because I helped to found it. It's literally, I've been saying this when I used to use Coinbase so much, but 90% of my crypto trading now happens on Buycoins. So that's how simple and easy the experience is. Besides Buycoins, the app, the company also has Send Cash, which is a way for you to be able to receive or send money. Currently, it's from any part of the world to Nigeria using crypto. And I know that there's plans to make the opposite direction also possible, where you can send from Nigeria to other parts of the world. So and you don't have to necessarily interact with crypto. You just pay directly from your account, and the person on the receiving end receives Naira directly on their own side. So it's a very neat way of utilizing the simplicity of crypto for services that all of us need. And let me tell you all, the rates are better than 80 or 90% of any remittance product that is on the market. And so it just makes it's better than black market rates in some cases. So the last product that Buycoins, or at least that Teju has told us about on this call, is Get Cards, which is a way to use crypto to purchase gift cards for any major retailer or international like shopping site and other outlets where you need to pay for things. It's called Get Cards. I'm sure that there's a lot of other products that the Buycoins team is still cooking up. And so just the company is set up to make crypto very relevant and useful for everyone in Nigeria and across Africa. And then for others who might be tuning in, Rise. So this call is hosted by Rise. And our product is essentially an app that lets you invest across multiple asset classes, real estate, stocks, fixed income, securities, all dollar denominated, all generating returns in dollars to protect you against devaluation, actually, and allow you to grow your wealth over time. So it's essentially us saying, we want you to have access to all the investments around the world that can deliver returns. And we want your returns to be to outperform Naira inflation. And so we don't let you trade or you don't trade or do the research investment decisions. What you mainly do is set a risk level, select an asset class you're interested in, fund your account, and then we build that portfolio out for you, and you can watch your returns over time. I think everyone that has used Rise can attest to the fact that in the last year and a half, we've essentially done better than almost any investment option that you can think of, actual investment options, because there are some people offering like returns, but we all know that those are not the kind of returns that they don't do to 20% every month, but those are not where you want to put your money if you actually want that money to do well and come back. So those are the two products that we're talking. This main reason that we're discussing and the main conversation is really what can crypto do for your investment portfolio? How useful can you find crypto as you make your investment journey? So we've started out this year. Crypto has delivered really strong returns numbers. And anybody that wants to understand more about what we've been doing, what's possible out there, I feel like this is the best place to ask those questions. So I'll try to understand how it fits to your own particular use case, so that Teju and I will have a conversation and try hopefully to answer those questions for you. So I think that was a long summary, but Teju, I have a personal question that I actually I've wondered about. Where do you have, or what's your, if you have to think about how much of your money you put into crypto versus other investments, how would you, what does that split look like?
For me, the split might be 60-50% crypto. This isn't like, I guess this isn't a guide for everybody else. And like you might even refer to it as like bad investment advice, but that is because of, I guess, like how strongly I believe that crypto will do. But yeah, I would say maybe 60 or 50% crypto.
That's so aggressive. But
yeah, it is.
You know what? That's also the way so there's something I talk about, and this is not investment advice. This is us discussing as a general thing. And please do not put 60% of your money inside.
I'm not sure if it's just me, but I can't hear AK anymore.
Unless you have a very few. And secondly, unless things Teju said, which is that yeah. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So there was something you mentioned at the beginning, which is that for you, seeing crypto go down by a lot doesn't really bother you, because it's about you understanding how transformative this technology is, and therefore just putting a bet on the long-term potential. So that means that if you want to copy what she's doing, you have to be the same. You have to be the same. We have to be comfortable with seeing massive losses and knowing that, you know what, it doesn't matter, because for me, I'm looking at this as what can it deliver in the future, right? So you have to tailor your investment decisions to your own risk appetite and what you're actually trying to achieve. But yeah, still, that is quite aggressive. And yeah,
I agree.
All right, so let's take a few more questions from the audience. They're simple questions. I don't know if you can read some of these. Just pick out the ones you like and just run through them.
Okay.
So if you click on two and then
yeah. Is it still advisable to buy Bitcoin since they have a capped maximum, or should one look towards another coin? Okay, yeah. So by saying that there's a capped maximum, it doesn't mean that you can't still get it. So the capped maximum is like the supply in general, right? People will still always buy and sell. New Bitcoins won't just be created. So, and like one thing that I guess is important to think about in this sense is you don't have to own one Bitcoin. So it's not like somebody necessarily needs to own one Bitcoin or two Bitcoin. You can own Bitcoin in little bits. So the way you have like Naira and Kobo, you have Bitcoin and Satoshis. So Satoshis are basically smaller units of Bitcoin, and one Bitcoin is about 100 million Satoshis. So it's people can actually own those little bits of Bitcoin. It's not everybody who owns one Bitcoin. So yeah, you can still buy Bitcoin even if the maximum is capped at 21 million Bitcoins.
So let me ask, sorry, before you
Can I
go
say,
back,
okay,
sure. What's the minimum you can buy on Buycoins? What's the minimum purchase amount for Bitcoin?
Okay. So on Buycoins, there are two ways to buy Bitcoin. First is the instance. So the instance is basically you buy from Buycoins itself. So you just go put in the amount you want to buy and click a button. That amount is 0.001 Bitcoin. And so it depends on what the current value of Bitcoin is. So today, the Naira value of Bitcoin is probably 16 million. I'm not sure about that. I will need to check. But so that would mean that the minimum you can buy from that platform is about 16,000 Naira. But like when it's lower, it's also lower. So the second option is the peer-to-peer option, which is basically I own Bitcoin, AK wants to buy Bitcoin. So AK and both of us are on the Buycoins platform. I just say, oh, I'm buying this from AK, and Buycoins makes the swap in a few seconds for us. On that platform, the minimum you can buy is currently about 1,600 Naira. So you can start from as little as 8,600 Naira on Buycoins.
So that is really helpful for a lot of people. So if you want to start, 1,600 is easy. 16,000 might be a little bit, but still, compared to the overall price of Bitcoin, that is still very, very accessible. So thanks, Teju.
Yeah. Okay, there's this one that says Bitcoin is on the upside and a lot of us have perhaps missed in the opportunity. Are you offering other coins that are quite cheap and have potential like Bitcoin in the near future? So my first response to this is I don't think that you've missed on the opportunity in any way. Especially if you believe that Bitcoin is going to continue increasing in value. So there are like a lot of different I guess like Bitcoin predictions, Bitcoin price predictions. I'm not going to say any of them so that like I'm not quoted, but it's like still relatively early days. So it's just the same way I like sort of said at the beginning. So I would use like the dot-com bubble, for instance. So like, there are a lot of different dot-coms, and like let's say somebody buys Amazon stock at that point, at maybe they buy Amazon stock somehow, like maybe a couple of years, after that point. Then I don't know, like, would you say that they are late? They're not late because like Amazon is not down today, right? Amazon is just growing stronger and stronger today. So it's kind of like that. Some people bought Bitcoin at like $20 or $30 or $40. And in their minds, they might have been late because maybe they even got the opportunity to buy at $5 and they just didn't. So it's like whenever you wake up, it's your morning, in my opinion. So like you can still, you've not missed out on the opportunity. Are you offering other coins? Oh yeah, so there are other coins on Buycoins. So for instance, you can buy Ethereum or Ether, and you can buy Litecoin, you can buy USDC. USDC is a stable coin that's backed to the dollar, and that is what's available on RiseVest. Yes, so Ethereum is also slightly cheaper, but somebody can also say, have I missed out on buying Ether early? And like that's not really the case. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. You've not really missed out on the opportunity. Yeah, okay, there's some here for you about RiseVest listing cryptocurrencies. Okay, I find the whole process a bit cumbersome. Go
ahead.
Oh, okay. I find the whole process a bit cumbersome with regards to the acquisition of crypto. I like the abstracted experience that Revolut has. Any thoughts on a future implementation that abstracts away the wallet lingo on your platform? Yeah, definitely. Like I said, earlier, our goal isn't just to facilitate exchange in this way. It's also to make crypto very mainstream for everybody. And like one way that we do that at the moment is with like send cash and get cards. So today, to use get cards, you do not even have to interface with crypto in any way. Like you don't have to buy Bitcoin, you don't have to see a wallet address, nothing like that. You go on the platform, you make a bank transfer the same way you would transfer to an Instagram vendor, or the same way you transfer to me. And in a few minutes, you get a gift card in your email. And that entire process is like a lot of crypto stuff happening where it's like we take the Naira, buy Litecoin with it, and then exchange it and all of that. But you don't know anything actually about it. And it's like the more, we keep on moving and the more that there are use cases like this, the more we can make the UX of crypto better and better. Like that is our goal. At some point for you to be able to, just use crypto and it will be as easy as sending an email. It will be as easy as using your Twitter account. So yeah. AK, you're saying something before I kind of interrupted you.
Yeah. No, I was trying to find the question you said referenced Rise. So I still can't even find it actually.
Okay, let me, okay, yeah. Is Rise planning to add cryptocurrency directly from the app? There's Oluyomi Oshosanya.
Oh, got it. So you're not going to be able to trade directly, like buying and selling cryptos. What you're going to be able to do is to allocate some of your investments towards crypto as an asset class. And what we do, just like we do with so for instance, on our stocks portfolio, you have like about 30 stocks that we've done a lot of research and vetted. So there's Amazon on there, there's Trade Desk, there's Square, there's a handful of other companies, there's Fiverr, and there's Zoom. So basically, we look at all the companies listed on the exchange, on public exchange, and then we say, okay, these are the ones that we feel very strongly about, that we feel has a lot of upside potential and long-term growth. And so we put your money into the basket of all 30 stocks. So we're going to take the same approach with our cryptocurrency asset class. So we're just going to look at the crypto universe and say, okay, we know Bitcoin is there, Ethereum is going to be there, or Ether. And then there's a few other altcoins that have enough traction and enough intrinsic value in a sense that they will probably be a good investment over time, right? And so we build out a portfolio, we size them according to their potential and how strongly we believe in each one, and then we give you access to that so that, let's say you decide to fund $100 every month, you'll go into all those coins according to the proportion that we set the basket at, so that every month or every week or every year, you're putting money towards a basket of crypto, and as they're delivering returns, you're also going to be generating those returns in your portfolio. So that's the approach, but we're not going to list crypto for people to just come in and buy, even though it's easy to do. But we try to try to tell people that Rise is where your money goes, where you park your money so that it's being invested well over time. And then there's a number of other products that allow you to just do something short term that you just want to speculate with. And so we're not trying to be all things to all people. We want to say this is where your long-term investments live. You can then look for other solutions to do all the short-term things that you want to do with your money as well. So I hope that answers that question. There's a question I wanted you to go ahead.
Okay.
But we're gonna stop in a few minutes because it's just 10 minutes, and there was one question I wanted you to touch on. But feel free to finish or answer the one you're going to, and then I'll find out.
How does a crypto buyer in Nigeria cope with the restrictions of the CBN? So at the moment there are no restrictions. There are no like specific restrictions or anything like that to buying or selling crypto. The government stance on it is a little bit big. They're like, you're doing it at your own risk, but like there's no real issue. Okay, but I guess like one question that like somebody might have, but like nobody has really asked is like, what happens if the government actually comes and says people can't trade crypto in Nigeria? Like what happens then? Like first of all, I don't really think that is going to happen, especially because like governments don't want, the Nigerian government might necessarily not want to be behind, in terms of innovation. Like a lot of other countries are beginning to, warm up to crypto. And at the moment, it's like, oh, we don't really understand it, and let's just, watch and see. But one thing that I think that the government can do is like regulate the exchanges, the crypto exchanges, sort of like how you have it in the US today. So for instance, there's like some regulation that the US government is trying to make to sort of cause or to force, I guess, like wallet providers that offer non-custodial wallets. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because I don't know how to explain. But that offer non-custodial wallets to do like KYC, to collect certain information. So what I think might happen, for instance, is that the Nigerian government will say, oh, crypto exchanges have to go by all of these rules. They have to collect all of this information. They have to make sure that if you are buying, you can only buy maybe up to X or something like that. But like the way it works is, even if the government regulates the exchange, the government can't really regulate your crypto wallet. I'm not sure if that makes sense. But like, so with banks today, if the government says, oh, banks cannot do this to banks have to, take certain actions, the bank can actually enforce those actions on your bank account. But like with crypto, it's like you own your wallet and nobody can really enforce any of those things on your wallet or on your crypto holdings. So they can say, oh, maybe the crypto exchanges have to do certain things, but like to some extent, it won't really affect you as much as like you think. Worst case scenario, you can do peer-to-peer exchanges, which is what people used to do for a long time, like the longest time. There are ton of it. So Buycoins, for instance, has a peer-to-peer exchange where it's basically a marketplace for anybody who wants to swap crypto that they already own. So in that sense, there's not, government regulation cannot really like seize your crypto or anything like that. This particular government or another one. Yeah.
Awesome. So there's a lot of things that we've learned in the few minutes that we've discussed crypto and how it relates to your investments, why you need to make use of it. I'm sure that there's a ton of other questions that people are gonna have. How can someone learn? I'm just completely new to this whole thing. I'm not even at the point where I want to put my money yet. I just want to understand how the whole thing works. How do I go about learning about this space?
Okay, so there are a lot of resources that you can use. So for instance, Buycoins has a free course. I'm going to put it in the chat just now. Yeah, so it's like an intro to crypto course. It's free. You can just take it from beginning to the end. We talk about like why Bitcoin has value, the blockchain, fees, all of those things, what wallets are, what kind of wallets you can hold, and all of those things. There's actually like a couple more resources that I wanted to share, but like I think I'll just share them in the chat as we keep speaking. But yeah, there are a lot of free resources. I think Binance has like the Binance Academy as well. They have a lot of resources. There's bitcoin.org where you can find like just content about crypto, like how it works. You find videos. Yeah, Bitcoin.org has a lot of interactive videos where they show you like how Bitcoin payments work, what the blockchain is, and things like that. Yeah, I'm just sharing the ones that I can remember in the chat. But yeah.
Okay. So there's bitcoin.org, there's the Buycoins learning platform, there's Binance Academy. For anybody who wants to just get your head around the whole crypto space, try to understand what is possible before you even get to the point where you want to put your money into anything. So, as people who, as our part of the things we talk about in our investment community is you have to do a lot of homework. You have to understand what you're investing in, right? So even if someone else is making the investment decisions for you, you still need to understand how the investment is going to generate returns or what kind of risk you are taking so that you can rate your expectations accordingly, right? So there's a lot of talk about Bitcoin and all the returns you can make, but it's very, very easy also to lose your money. It's very easy to get burned if you don't know what to expect and you don't do enough homework. And so some of those resources that Teju just shared will be helpful. For those of you who want to join our investment community, So there's a link to our Telegram group that Shubi, who is our community manager, has just shared in the chat box. So if you click on that link, it'll take you to Telegram. We have over 7,000 people there who are talking about different kind of investment opportunities. We're just sharing knowledge and discussing different things that are related to how you can do better with your money. And so if you feel like you've missed out on other investment opportunities before, I always tell them, and I think Teju said something, she said, whenever you wake up is your morning. And I'll add to that that there's always opportunities at any given moment, either being created or still in the point where you can benefit from them. So you might have missed on A, but there's still B all the way to C. So don't think you need to get, if you don't get access to this particular investment. But also, as you also mentioned, it's not really that late. It's still quite early days because right now the world is finally catching on to what is possible with crypto. And so demand for crypto is growing. And if you do your homework and decide to invest in it, there's always that possibility that you would benefit from continued increase. However, do a lot of homework, understand the risks, understand how it fits in with your overall investment. And if you need to speak with someone before you make that investment decision, reach out through our Telegram group. There'll be someone that can talk to you and help you answer those questions. So Chubi, please drop the link to the Telegram group again. We're also going to share some of the resources that Teju already shared on the chat. So if anybody needs to follow up on, whether it's Buycoins Learning, whether it's Binance Academy, or any of these resources, join the Telegram group or just let us know that, oh, you know what, I still need to get ABCD about, just ask. So if you need to reach out to us specifically, hello@rise.capital. And Teju, can you tell anybody that wants to contact Buycoins about any of these questions, the best way to reach out?
Yeah, you can send us an email at support@buycoins.africa. I'm putting that in the chat right now. We're at Buycoins_Africa on Twitter as well. You can send us a DM, and we're always happy to answer any of your questions.
Awesome. So thank you very much. This has been very enlightening, Teju. I hope that the next time that you come on our call like this, that Bitcoin is 100,000. Because me too.
Yeah, that'll be great for me.
But that'll be really cool. But I might suggest maybe doing a little less than 50%, not just because you don't believe in crypto, but because that's a high level of risk. But at the same time,
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So the Twitter handle is Buycoins_Africa. And if it's for Rise, then the Twitter handle is RiseVest, RISEVST. So someone was asking about a Twitter handle. But thank you all for attending this meeting. It's the first one for the year. I hope you all explore crypto. I hope you all consider adding it to your investment portfolio. And definitely by the end next month, we'll be looking forward to bringing you all a great conversation again about another aspect of your finances this year. So thanks everybody and have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.
Bye.